charming day, isn't it, Miss Fairfax?
Pray don't talk to me about the weather, Mr. Worthing. Whenever people talk to me about the weather, I always feel quite certain that they mean something else. And that makes me so nervous.
I do mean something else.
I thought so. In fact, I'm never wrong.
And I would like to be allowed to take advantage of Lady Bracknell's temporary absence.
Yes, I would certainly advise you to do so. Mamma has waved me back suddenly to her that I've often had to speak to her about so.
Miss Fairfax, ever since I met you, I have admired you more than any girl I have ever met since I met you.
And I often wish that in public, at any rate, you'd be more demonstrative.
Oh.
For me, you have always had an irresistible fascination. Even before I met you, I was far from indifferent to you. We live, as I hope you know, Mr. Worthing, in an age of ideals. The fact is constantly mentioned in the more expensive monthly magazines and has even reached the provincial pulpits, I'm told. And my ideal has always been to love a man by the name of Earnest. There is something in that name that inspires absolute confidence. When Algernon first mentioned to me that he had a friend called Earnest, I knew I was destined to love you.
You really love me, Gwendolyn?
Oh, passionately.
Darling,
My own Ernest!
Oh, you don't mean to say that you couldn't love me if my name wasn't Earnest.
But your name is Ernest.
Yes, I know it is. But supposing it was something else, are you saying you couldn't love me then?
Well, that is clearly a metaphysical speculation, and like most metaphysical speculations, has very little reference to the actual facts of real life as we know them.
Personally, to speak quite candidly, I don't much care for the name of Earnest. I don't think it suits me at all.
It suits you perfectly. It's a divine name. It has a music of its own. It produces vibration.
Oh, well. Really, Gwendolyn? I must say, I think that there are lots of other, much nicer names. I think Jack, for instance. A charming name.
Jack. No.
Oh.
There is very little music, if any at all, in the name of Jack. It does not thrill. It produces absolutely no vibrations. I have known several Jacks, and they all, without exception, have been more than usually plain. And besides, Jack was notorious domesticity for John, and I think any woman who was married to a man called John, she would probably never be allowed to know the entrancing pleasure of a single moment's solitude. The only really safe name is
Gwendolyn, I must be christened at once. I mean, we must be married at once. There's no time to be lost.
Married, Mr. Worthing?
Well, surely. You know that I love you. And you led me to believe, Miss Fairfax, that you're absolutely indifferent to me.
I adore you, Mr. Worthing, but you have not proposed to me yet. Nothing at all has been said about marriage. The subject has not even been touched on.
Well, may I propose to you now?
Yes, would be an admirable opportunity.
Oh!
And I think it only quite fair to tell you, to spare you any possible disappointment, Mr. Worthing, quite frankly beforehand, that I'm fully determined to accept you.
Gwendolyn!
Yes, Mr. Worthing, what have you got to say to me?
You know what I've got to say to you.
Yes, but you don't say it.
Oh! Oh, Gwendolyn? Will you marry me?
Yes! Darling! How long you've been about it, though. I'm afraid you've had very little practice in how to propose.
I don't know. You're the only one in the world that I've ever loved.
Yes, but men often propose for practice. I know my brother Gerald does. All my girlfriends tell me so.
Oh.